What's up, guys? Danny Greco, Keller Williams here. I've got June 2021 statistics to jump into. We are in the middle of summer. We've got the Mariners going on. We just came past the horrible heat wave that we had. So, speaking of heat wave, let's jump right into the single family market for Seattle and greater Seattle areas and talk a little bit more about that. So, as you know, as you've been seeing my videos throughout the year, this year has been one for the record books, and each video I make, it seems like we're talking about more and more records. And that's going to be somewhat the case here, but there's also going to be a little bit of good news for buyers at the end, so listen up. So let's jump right into these stats here. So looking at the city of Seattle first, and then we'll kind of work our way out from there. So in Seattle, we are still dealing with just lack of inventory. There's only about 0.6 months of inventory, which is very low for this time. In fact, that's about 20% lower than there was this time last year, which I'm actually surprised that's not more. However, the theme for this year, not that only we've been dealing with low inventory, but we've had a really strong level of buyer demand. And even though there's 20% less homes on the market in Seattle, that's resulted in about 14% more homes under contract compared to this month last year, and 48% more homes selling. So buyers are doing more, buying more homes with less available, if that makes sense. So a very indicative, strong buyer demand. And speaking of buyer demand, as I measure that statistic, this is where some of the potential good news for buyers comes in. So we've been pretty much in these record levels of my absorption rate, which is essentially the measure of buyer demand throughout the entire year. Well, we're still at a very strong level. However, the month of June ended at the lowest level we've been at in 4 months in February. Now, a little bit of context. Yes, that's a good sign for buyers, and hopefully that's a sign moving forward that things are going to slow down a little bit, maybe get a little easier for buyers. However, if I took the number for June, which was the lowest number it's been since February of this year, and I applied that to last year or the year before, that would still by far be the strongest level of absorption rate. So in relative context, it's still very, very, very competitive out there. It's just a tad bit less than it has been the past couple months, which, let's face it, if we're going to get to any kind of normalcy, we're going to have to start seeing things die down a bit. But it is interesting that with inventory essentially remaining unchanged and there not being any inventory levels out there, the drop in buyer demand is showing that buyers are starting to fall off. They're maybe getting a little fed up. They maybe said enough is enough. So it's going to be interesting if we start to see that trend into other statistics. Maybe the sales price starts coming down, which it did month over month for Seattle. So we ended at 890, 444 to be exact, kind of an odd median sale price number to end on there. That was down from 919 the month before, so quite a big difference there. Inventory again just remains pretty flat. So if we are really going to see this market turning around, buyer demand is one aspect of it, but we've got to have inventory come up and meet it to give the buyers out there some more relief. So now, taking a step back, looking over at the east side, this is where we do have a new record to talk about. And the east side hit a new all-time high for a median sale price. 1.364 million gets you your median home in the east side of Seattle. So we're talking Bellevue, Issaquah, Kirkland, all those areas east of Lake Washington, essentially Sammamish. Inventory again there just the same as it always has. And then taking another step outwards, looking at King County, we did see that drop a bit too. That went from 870 down to a median sale price of 860. Inventory again just flat there at only about 0.46 months of inventory. So that's where we're at. So it's maybe encouraging from a buyer's perspective, starting to see some other buyers back out and absorption rate fall a little bit. But if inventory doesn't pick up, it's just going to continue to be a struggle out there, and it's really going to be interesting. I know if you've really been paying attention, I've been saying wait for the summer, wait for the summer. Well, the summer is here, and it hasn't gotten that much better. So far I'm eating a crow a little bit on my prediction. However, those Seattleites know that summer doesn't really begin until the 4th of July has concluded, which at the time I'm filming this, we just passed. So the next 30 to 60, maybe even 90 days are going to be really interesting and really crucial for me in my prediction to see if the market starts to balance out a little bit. So we will see. Stay tuned.